Before the last leaf falls, Sarah lived in a small fourth-floor apartment in an old grey neighborhood of Boston. Her greatest treasure was her 7-year-old son, Ethan, who lived in the adjacent apartment and was fighting a fierce battle with cancer. Ethan, with his big blue eyes and dimples that never seemed to leave his cheeks, was a little angel who spread joy wherever he went. As his illness progressed, his world had shrunk, and the old oak tree outside his window had become his closest friend. A month ago, Ethan's doctor had exhausted all hope. Sarah didn't know how to share this painful truth with her son. Ethan, however, looked out at the oak tree every day, watching the leaves fall one by one. One afternoon, as Sarah held his hand, Ethan whispered, "Mom, do you know, if that last leaf falls, I'll go too." Sarah's heart shattered in her chest. "No, honey," she said, hiding her tears. "It's just a tree. You have a strong heart." But Ethan wasn't convinced. From that moment on, his eyes were constantly on the tree. Autumn was rapidly advancing, and with every gust of wind, the tree became a little more bare. A few days later, only a single leaf remained on the tree, a pale yellow, curled, frail leaf. The air was freezing. Ethan's condition was steadily worsening. He struggled to breathe and couldn't get out of bed. After every coughing fit, the first thing he did was look out the window. "It's still there," he'd murmur with a tired smile. Sarah watched in dread, anticipating the terrible moment when that last leaf would fall. She was certain that if that leaf dropped, all of her son's life force would also be depleted. That night, a storm broke out. The rain lashed against the window like whips, and the wind howled. Sarah didn't sleep all night, holding Ethan's hand and listening to the sounds outside. Her heart felt like it would burst from her chest with every increase in the wind's intensity. When morning came, the world was silent. Ethan slowly opened his eyes and whispered, "The leaf." Sarah looked at the window with a frozen terror. All the branches of the tree were bare, except for one. That frail, pale leaf, despite the night storm, clung to its branch with incredible stubbornness. A smile appeared on Ethan's face. "It didn't go," he said. A miraculous thing happened that day. Ethan felt a little better. The leaf was still there the next day, and the day after that. Ethan's fever dropped. He ate a little, and even managed to get out of bed to look closer at that leaf. It was as if this leaf was injecting a life force into him. Sarah began to wonder about the secret behind this situation. In the late afternoon, she went down to the foot of the old oak tree and noticed something. The leaf wasn't attached to the branch. It was tied with a thin string. This ordinary thread had been cleverly painted and fastened to the leaf's stem. Her eyes welled up. Tears dropped onto the painted string. When she looked up, she saw Mr. Johnson, a grumpy elderly painter who lived alone in the adjacent apartment, watching her from his window. Sarah slowly knocked on Mr. Johnson's door. When he opened it, there was compassionate sorrow in his eyes. "Thank you, Mr. Johnson," Sarah said, her voice trembling. Johnson nodded. I once loved a young girl. Leaves were her greatest fear too. The last leaf to fall." His voice trailed off. "I didn't let it. She clung to the leaf. She lived for one more month. One more month. I got to keep her with me." Sarah burst into tears. Johnson came closer and gently held her shoulder. "Your son is a strong boy, Sarah. If that leaf keeps him alive for just one more day, it's a miracle. Ethan survived that winter because of that leaf." The last leaf hung on, even under the snow. At the end of winter, Ethan fell asleep peacefully, holding that oak leaf in his hand. After her son's funeral, Sarah looked at the oak tree one last time from the window. The snow had melted, and that leaf had dried up and gone with the wind. But Sarah knew that some leaves, through the power of love and sacrifice, could cling to their place much longer than they should, and that last leaf had given Ethan one more season. Sarah opened the window and whispered softly, "Thank you, Mr. Johnson." Mr. Johnson didn't answer from the apartment next door, but on his window ledge, there rested a dried oak leaf. That leaf would live in Sarah and Ethan's hearts forever.